Very good evening, friends, and I welcome you, all of you, once again. And I am indebted to every single person who is responding on my lectures, boys or girls. And it is you people who make me live, give me a purpose to move ahead, and give me a purpose to think. Somebody complained I speak without energy. In fact, in one of my lecture, I have already stated the people with highest amount of mental energy always fall silent. I repeat it again. The people with highest amount of mental energy always fall silent. And when you see their deeds, their actions, and when you see what they have done so far, how they have fought for life, how they have fought for their views, how they have established themselves, what new ideas they brought in, what was to be rejected was rejected by them badly, then you will find, oh no, my God, he has done so much of work. And apart from that, in spite of that, is trying to talk in a silent voice. You see what happens when our maturity really grows, then we don't show off. I've seen clips of many motivators, particularly in companies, business companies, whom we call corporate motivators. In their accent, style, and body language, they are exceptional. But your mind will never receive that because they have not realized it. One day I was watching it in a particular episode. The motivator was essentially talking about mother and father and their contribution in life. And he talked from two viewpoints, one of emotionality. In fact, when I saw, he was talking about emotionality. Now, you must have heard the voice of some lady crying aloud, crying on the top of her pitch. But do you know the emotional state of mind is not the strongest state of mind. The peaceful state of mind is the strongest state of mind. And finest of decision in humanity have been taken by those people who were capable of keeping their mind silent amid all this chaotic pattern of the universe. And if you carry on with your meditations and if you have got blessings of the Master, one day you finally come to conclude without any option that the entire world, even in daylight, is nothing more than a dream. And how can I shout for a dream? How can I shout on a dream? It's dream. So, अपन ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या कर सकते हैं? दुनिया में जो कुछ भी हो रहा है उसमें से इसेंशियल्स पर ध्यान दें, नॉन इसेंशियल्स पर ध्यान नहीं दें, क्योंकि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे व्हेन यू सी थ्रू meditative eyes, you find everything is just a dream. And how long can you really concentrate upon the dream? Ultimately, you know, okay, it doesn't exist, it's a dream. At night, In the hours of night when you sleep, you come across a lot of dreams. But you also know when you wake up that they don't exist, so you don't really get bothered about them. And this is essentially a very important point in terms of art of living. Maybe boys or girls, whatsoever, they must know, they must understand, though all these things are not very easy, but they must understand that they are unnecessarily bothered for a dream world which will never become theirs. You can have transitory influences, you cannot have permanent influences in this world of anything that is in this world or that is in time and space. So Krishna says very clearly in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, ये ही संस्पर्शा भोगा दुख युन एवते आद्यंत वंत कौनते हनते शुरमते बुधा. Because everything you come across has a starting point and an end point. न ते शुरमते बुधा. बुद्धिमान जन उन चीजों पर बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देते जो ट्रांजिटरी है. अब इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आपको कोई अच्छा लगता है तो आप प्यार ना करें, सेक्रीफाइस ना करें, लेकिन इस ट्रेनिंग को, मेंटल ट्रेनिंग को मेडिटेशन से आप जरूर बढ़ाएं और अपने माइंड को ज़्यादा इनेबल करें, ज़्यादा एम्पावर करें विद दिस रियलाइजेशन कि अल्टीमेटली वी आर स्पेंडिंग आवर एंटायर एनर्जी ऑन a dream. Then you will automatically know how wasteful we people are. How wasteful we people are. And this is one of the major cause of unhappiness in life. This is exactly the major cause of unhappy or for the loss of happiness in life. That we are chasing dreams. Now, chasing dream of being a superstar, that is also a dream. For those who achieve it, they become superstars. But for those who know that it's all a dream, doesn't affect them. Shah Rukh Khan doesn't affect me. Salman Khan doesn't affect me. Amir Khan doesn't attract me because I know what they are doing will never be theirs. So for the time being, they are engrossed into it. After that, they will have to come out of it and face an entirely different and stark reality of life. If for them accumulating a lot of wealth is happiness, that gives of course some means, that gives of course some social power, but that is not the happiness. Happiness lies within the mind. Happiness is the state of mind. Money is required. A lot of other things, including realization, is required even more. When I finished my engineering, I had a deep curiosity for studying more about universe, for which I didn't get a chance during engineering. Then, as a stupid, I applied in my university that I want a PhD in physics. So obviously that offer had to be struck down because I was just Bachelor of Engineering, and for doing Masters in Physics, for doing PhD in Physics, Masters is required. Then I wrote back a letter to them and I said, give me 15 days and tell me the syllabus of the physics in MSc and I will clear it within 15 days. I was confident I will be able to do it. But of course I knew that won't work, so it didn't work. But the quest and zeal for knowledge took me to such an extent and realization that ultimately I landed up with on the lotus feet of my master and could realize by the grace of the God, by the love of my parents, my sisters, and love of probably all of you somewhere at the corner of your head that I could pass through all those stages which even Abhimanyu did not cross. And that's why he was killed during Mahabharata war. And living life since last 23 years, I know that seventh stage of mind also. And so I am living very comfortably, peacefully. And hardly more than 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 persons are allowed to come into my house. The rest of thing I use for either entertainment or increasing my knowledge and perception. So by telling this much of story, what I want to tell you is, the first thing is you work on your interest if you really want to know what the art of living is. First is you work on your interest. Second is don't waste your energy. Third is have good companionship, competent companionship. Fourth is work hard. Fifth is know more than others. Sixth is expect less than others. Tomorrow I will probably define it in a different way. But these are very essential points in life. Don't be wasteful actually. You can't possess that luxury. Don't do so. Gita is a great voucher in favor of losing energy, losing extra energy, and that's why Lord Krishna talks of self-realization, because when your self-realization state comes, your mind falls silent. Your pineal gland stops giving you spurious worldly signals. आए तो हैं हमें यहाँ पर आपके आपके दया दरबार में आप आए हैं, इस जमीन पर हैं, इस पृथ्वी पर हैं, एक दिन चले जाएंगे। तो आत्मा की तो मृत्यु होनी नहीं, शरीर की होनी। बचपन में एक भजन था जिसको मैं काफी सुना भी करता था, गाया भी करता था। आपको थोड़ा सा सुनाता हूँ, बुरा मत मानिएगा। राम का नाम लेकर जो मर जाएंगे वे अमर नाम दुनिया में कर जाएंगे। यह न पूछो कि मरकर किधर जाएंगे, वे जिधर भेज देंगे उधर जाएंगे। टूट जाए न माला कहीं प्रेम की, कीमती हैं रतन सब बिखर जाएंगे। यह मानो न मानो खुशी आपकी, हम मुसाफिर हैं कल अपने घर जाएंगे। हम मुसाफिर हैं कल अपने घर जाएंगे। So even an iota of difference I could make in your life in the direction of true happiness, I would continue to do that. Don't rely on those who offer a transitory package. But you yourself, what I find was कि तुम लोग अपने ही कर्म ऐसे कर चुके हो, कर रहे हो, करते जा रहे हो कि तुम अपने लिए उस खुशी, वास्तविक सुख की उम्मीद ही करना बंद कर दिए हो और मोमेंटस प्लेजर्स की तरफ चले जा रहे हो, जो कि एक तरह से अंधा कुआं है, एडिक्ट कर देता है। मोमेंटस प्लेजर का हमेशा एक नेचर होता है, ये आपको एडिक्ट बना देता है। और सुख जो है, परमानेंट हैप्पीनेस, ये आपको एडिक्ट नहीं बनाता, ये आपको नॉन इमोशनल एंड स्टेबल स्टेट ऑफ माइंड में लाके खड़ा कर देता है। दोनों में अंतर, सुख में और खुशी में अंतर है। सुख परमानेंट है और खुशी क्षणिक है। आप लोग क्षणिक खुशी के पीछे भागते हो। जब आप क्षणिक खुशी के पीछे भागते हो तो वो मिलती है आपको, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं, बट वो उसका जो बिलिंग होता है वो बड़ा लंबा चौड़ा होता है। और वो क्षणिक खुशी के अगर चक्कर में जो पड़ गया तो वो एडिक्ट हो जाता है, फिर वो बहुत मजबूर हो जाता है। तो अपने आप को मजबूर मत बनने दो, अपने आप को कमजोर मत बनने दो। और मेरे 7 सूत्रों को जिनको मैंने बनाया उसमें सिर्फ आज पहले सूत्र की चर्चा करता हूँ। एक्सेप्ट द एक्सेप्टेबल एंड रिजेक्ट द रिजेक्टेबल। जो कुछ भी त्यागने योग्य है, अगर आपके घर के अंदर ही, अगर आपका कोई रिश्तेदार है, अगर आपका कुछ भी है चाहे वो क्लोजेस्ट फ्रेंड हो, लेकिन अगर आपको मेंटली ऐसा फील होता है कि उसके चलते आपको प्रॉब्लम्स बढ़ रही है, हो रही है, रिजेक्ट, downright reject. Have a simple word with him that I find problems with you, and so let us part our ways. Don't ever think that God has closed your ways. God has closed options for you. They are very much there. And accept the acceptable. Whatever is acceptable, it may be beautiful in Christianity, it may be beautiful in our society, it may be beautiful in some other society, in somebody's house. At least acknowledge it. If you really cannot practice all the things, at least acknowledge it. And that will give you a lot of positive strength to your mind when you will fall into the habit of acknowledging the good, acknowledging the brilliance, acknowledging the intelligence, and rejecting whatever is trash, rejecting whatever is garbage. And if you closely watch your mind in meditation, then you people are already not doing many such things which are useless, and it is your responsibility by birth as a human that you have to grow, your mind has to grow, the energy of your mind has to grow, and if it has to grow, the rejection and acceptance both are the processes which you'll have to take into your control and command, and whatever is worth rejecting, you should reject it immediately and take yourself out of it. Just last one sentence or two sentence. We know we have a lot of relatives. We always have a lot of relatives, mama, mosi, bua, and what. I have given a very clear-cut notice to one of my close relatives that I don't want to see you again, even if you are a relative, because you are more of a relative or less of a human, and I really cannot entertain you at this stage of my life. I have to take it seriously. I have to give it the best. So I would expect Mr. Prashant to come and take charge of the situation. This is all what I wanted to say today. Thank you.